Hey guys, welcome to the second episode of African Cichlid Breeder Tours, and today we're looking at double G cichlids. This guy has some crazy fish, so make sure you check him out on Instagram at double G cichlids. And right now we're looking at his 75-gallon African cichlid show tank. In this tank we've got a multitude of fish, from dragonbloods to blue dolphins to that monster red and blue OB that you see there, a really cool Madoka white lips, Placidochromis Giselle, a red Empress, sulphur-haired, sunshines, basically all you could ever want in a show tank. But now let's take a look at some of his breeding groups, and you will not want to miss this. So the first group we're going to take a look at today is his new Xerox Lithobates group that he actually just had delivered on Wednesday or Thursday night, I believe, and this guy just looked unbelievable out of the bag. It looks like he's got around 6 females in there with him, although one of them might be a subdominant male, as he's starting to get a little bit of a blaze on his dorsal fin right there. But either way, 1 male, 6 females, or 2 males, 5 females, so the ratio to male and female is pretty solid. I'm sure he's looking forward to getting some breeding action going with this group. The next group that we're going to take a look at is his blue OB breeding group. And this male, in my opinion, is absolutely stunning. The metallic blue on his face and his fins alone, whew, absolute fire. As you can see, the majority of the tanks are run on sponge filters. Some have got heaters in, some haven't, so maybe part of the room is heated or half of the room's heated. But this guy is really strutting his stuff and trying to entice the females into his little spot, which I believe is somewhere around that sponge filter. And for anyone that's interested in any of these fish that you see in today's video, just on a quick side note, Preston lives in Mississippi, so if you're anywhere close to him, hit him up on Instagram and I'm sure he'll help you out. He is hoping to ship fish within the next few weeks. He's just kind of getting his current situation sorted and then he'll be shipping, so feel free to hit him up on Instagram at double G cichlids if you've got any questions about any of the fish in this video that you might want to purchase. But yeah, there's his blue OB breeding group. And if the male's as fired up as he is in this video, usually I'm sure he's got plenty of juveniles from that dude. I mean, the coloration of this dragonblood is a little bit different, a little bit more of a pearl to him on the entirety of his body and especially in his face, but the fins look absolutely quality. And as you can see in the right hand corner there, that female's actually holding. In this 40 breeder we have a large flower pot where I'm sure most of the breeding occurs. Also utilises sand, which I like as it tends to mimic the natural environment, even though obviously dragonbloods have never seen Lake Malawi, but you know what I mean. So this right here is his Clown Ruby Red grow out tank for future breeding, which is from a different line to the Clown Ruby Reds you'll see later in the video. You can see he's got a few males right there, one toward the right. In the middle you can see some nice blue coming in on his face, but that one male, to say he's so small, is absolutely awesome. The coloration on that dude, crazy for the size that he is, and I believe he's around 2.5 inches right now, which is just crazy coloration. So once those guys grow out a little more, fella, expect to be having me purchase one of those, because those are absolutely awesome. I would love having a group of those guys, which I've actually got to talk to you about at the end of the video, so stay tuned if you're a long time subscriber, because there's some pretty exciting things coming. But yeah, there is Clown Ruby Reds that will be breeding in the future. So the next group that we'll be looking at is this blue Dragonblood group. And we'll actually just be looking at the male today, as he had to be segregated, as he was being a little bit too aggressive with his females. But even though he's separated from his females, this guy looks unbelievable. The deep red in the body, the white trim on the dorsal, and then the bright blue in the face. He looks really, really good. And you can tell Double G really takes pride in choosing the best fish that he can possibly find, as every single one of the fish that we've already looked at has been awesome, and that's not going to change with the rest of the video, trust me on that. For the vast majority of his tanks, Preston does a 75% water change every week. I'm sure that contributes to the colour of the fish. He'll also do a little more for the fry tanks, as obviously the fresh water helps them grow. And all his breeding tanks are 40-gallon breeders, and he also has other size tanks for growing out fish, and you'll see a really cool 125 with a bunch of OBs in later in the video. So the next fish that we're looking at is his old Thai Dragonblood group, and he actually just lost this guy 1 or 2 weeks ago, which is awful, but I believe he has extra males, the sons of this guy, to continue the line. But I just wanted to show you this guy because he was absolutely stunning. Due to Preston having so many breeding groups and tanks, he utilises Cichlidscape as a dechlorinator, as obviously if he was using Prime or any other dechlorinator during the water change process, it'd cost him an absolute fortune. So if you've not already looked into Cichlidscape and you've got quite a lot of tanks, make sure you do. It's going to save you a lot of money, although you do have to be careful when dosing, as it is highly concentrated. But yeah, this was his Thai Dragonblood group that I'm sure he's got other males of, so we can breed the same line in the future. So the next group that we're looking at is his Turkish breeding group, and he's actually got 2 unbelievably stunning males at his disposal for this group, and these guys just look absolutely awesome. And I believe this guy's in a little timeout now, as he's probably been too aggressive with his females, just like the blue Dragonblood, or the other Turkish is in the tank with the females instead. So there's a little bit of substituting going on, which I'm sure is exciting for the males as they eventually get let loose on the females after they've been penned up for quite a while, which, if you've ever been penned up for a while, isn't the most fun. And I'm sure this Turkish male isn't exactly loving it, but he looks absolutely awesome, and he'll be breeding in a few days once he's calmed down. So this is another Clown Ruby Red breeding group that he got from the Cichlid shack. But the male in this tank, for his size, is unbelievable. I believe Double G told me that this guy was about 2.5 inches. So to be showing that coloration at that size, he's an absolute stud. And by the looks of it, he's got at least 2 females holding right there. As you can see, the majority of the tanks have been run by sponge filters, which when you've got a lot of tanks is the most economical way to go about it. And he's also got some heaters in some tanks. This to me looks like a 40 breeder, which is a common tank size for African cichlid breeding groups. And there we have some fry in the tumbler, which is a Tinksky one that I actually utilise currently, and you can get those off Amazon for $11 or $12. So I'll leave a link to those in the description of this video, so you can take a look if you're interested in breeding African cichlids after watching this video, which I know I sure am. In this tank we've got some young albino flavescence that is growing out for future breeding. You can't really see too much coloration on these guys yet, although it looks as if the males are slightly different coloured, more of a pale yellow than the females. And we've also got some fry in the 2 breeder nets in the tank, and that one's absolutely full of OB fry. Here we've got his old OB Red Empress breeding group. The male in this tank just was absolutely crazy. He has since died, however, but Double G still has his sons and is planning to continue his line. So let's take a look at some of the other OBs that he's currently keeping and has for sale. So anyway guys, that's all for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed the tour of Double G Cichlids. I know I certainly have. This is his Ingara flametail male that he's also breeding currently. Feel free to reach out to Double G, and thanks a lot for the footage, buddy, much appreciated. And expect an order from me for those clown ruby reds. But anyway, spoiler alert, pretty excited.